The doula. The doula. What is a doula? According to Stephen L. Richmond, one labor-intensive job article that he wrote in 2001, unlike midwives who deliver babies and are licensed to perform medical tasks, labor doulas provide emotional and physical support to the laboring parents. Sounds about like me. A birth doula can be certified by Doula International and is designated by the initials CD, DONA. This organization is about 30 years old. The word doula comes from the ancient Greek meaning a woman who serves. That's not me. And is now used to refer to a trained and experienced professional who provides continual physical, emotional, and informational support to the mother before, during, and just after birth, or who provides emotional and practical support during the postpartum period. Being a doula is typically done by a woman that has been there before the birth of her child and or the birth of her daughter's child. I'm a father, been there once before, had the idea that I could do it again, watched some videos, took a class, and just listened to my wife. That's how I felt like I was certified to be a doula. Maybe not by Dona, but needless to say, I was still certified by her. I started all this by picking up a free armoire on Craigslist, by restaining a rocking chair, making sure the car was settled, buying the best stroller and car seat we could find, putting little things here and there together, and enjoying watching my baby's nursery come into full effect. Then, waited for the day. I was at school, sitting there waiting for all this wonderful life to start, and I got a phone call. Babe, my water broke. Period, end of discussion, set everything down, got in my truck, drove the few miles from Cal State East Bay to San Leandro, about 6 minutes. It was the only time I knew I could speed because I knew once I got in the vehicle with my wife, regardless of how much of an emergency it was, I could not speed. So I had to get it out of my system. So, got home, helped her get dressed, helped her get things in the car, made sure everything that we needed was prepped and ready. Got in the car and took off. Went to the hospital, got her admitted, got to the room, did the final check-in on Facebook and Instagram, and then we waited. Waited for contractions, waited for medicine, waited for this, waited for that. Family shows up. We still wait. Seemed like forever. But then the midwife stepped in. And anything that I had forgotten or anything that I needed to know about being a good doula to my wife, the midwife showed me. Gave me all the hints and ideas, and the nurses were right there to show what I could do to better support my wife. So, why a doula? Why would a doula be so necessary? Well, some studies show that when doulas attend birth, labors are shorter with fewer complications. Babies are healthier and they breastfeed more easily. Doulas are there to recognize the birth as a key experience the mother will remember all her life, to understand the physiology of birth and the emotional needs of a mother-to-be in labor, assist the mother-to-be in preparing for and carrying out her plans for birth, stays with the mother-to-be throughout the labor, provides emotional support, physical comfort measures, and objective viewpoints, as well as helping the mother-to-be get the information she needs to make informed decisions. Facilitates communication between the laboring mother-to-be, her partner, and her clinical care providers. Her partner? I'm not her partner. I'm her husband. That's just my opinion. Perceives her role as nurturing and protecting the mother-to-be memory of the birth experience, and allows the mother to be partner. Again, but a doula is a doula. A doula is there usually typically with the husband, with the partner. But I was the doula. I was the dude-la. Go figure. And basically, amongst other studies that have been shown, having a doula as a member of the birth team decreases the overall cesarean rate by 50%, decreases the length of labor by 25%, and reduces the amount of oxytocin taken by the mother by up to 40%, and often reduces the request even for an epidural by 60%. Men and babies. Really? A man's supposed to be there to support and help the birth of a child? That's weird. No, it's not. Men for generations and centuries have been there for the wives as the birth takes place. Doctors, first were men. So naturally, the assistance and care for a mother going through birth has been through a man. Most women naturally fit in the scenarios, especially if they're mothers. So it makes sense that people think that women should be there, and doctors should be there, and midwives should be there, and women take care of women. That's the good thing. But men have always been there. So naturally, it's actually pretty cool that a man would want to be a doula. I don't know if I'd want to do it for anyone else other than my wife, but needless to say. So according to New York Times, in an article referencing Men at Work for Women in Labor by Bonnie Rockman, she is quoted by saying, although the group, meaning DONA, D-O-N-A, doesn't track how many men have completed the training, officials say they were aware of only a handful of male doulas amongst the 8,500 birth attendants it has certified since launching 2 decades ago. So there's a handful of men that have actually chosen to be doulas, but typically this practice is not even widely pushed by mothers because the men really are there as doulas. I don't want to say this too casually, but sometimes maybe the mother doesn't trust the husband to be able to stand the sight of blood and all that, so she does hire a doula. Not to say anything against the man, but if you can't handle a little bit of pressure, a little bit of hurt coming from your wife, grow up a little bit and understand that the birth of a child is the most amazing miracle on earth. Me as a doula, what did I do? Well, I go back to the list that I said earlier, and I reorganize it a little bit to show how I assisted my wife to go through the childbirth. And this is how it goes. I recognize birth as a key experience in my wife who will remember all her life. I spent time to understand the physiology of birth and the emotional needs of my wife while in labor. I assisted my wife in preparing and carrying out her plans of birth. I stayed with my wife throughout the labor. I provided emotional support, physical comfort measures, and objective viewpoint, as well as helping my wife get the information she needed to make informed decisions. I facilitated communications between my wife and her clinical care providers. I perceived my role as nurturing and protecting my wife's memory of the birth experience. I pushed my comfort level to meet the objective. Maybe the Marine in me taught me how to persevere. According to the physicians Marshall Klaus and John Kennel, massages also help stimulate the production of natural oxytocin. This is something I tried to do. Maybe not as much as I wanted, but I definitely tried to make sure that I was there, holding, touching, caressing my wife as she was going through this. Traditions from beginning. Never should a man feel the pain of childbirth, nor never should my wife sweat by her brow to eat. The Holy Scriptures show men to, by the sweat of your face you will eat bread, and the women, well, to my wife he said, I will make your pains and childbearing very severe. With painful labor you will give birth to children. These are our rules. Should most of us believe this or not, it is nature. The role of the doula shows the mother a way to gain sight to the end, and to show once birth is through, the life test of raising a child is next. There is joy in the sorrow of giving birth. I, as a man and a new father, do not see the whole virtue of a woman and what they physiologically go through. But knowing from the classes I attended, make the culture of only women can help diminish by showing support. I believe the more educated we as a society become, the chances of men growing to be supportive of the female's role, the pain and the joy from birth will equally be shared and allow growth between the couple. There's much to learn from someone's pain, watching their face and struggle to accomplish a task as hard and unforgiving to a body as childbirth. Is there a difference between doulas and midwives? Yes. Mothers typically today in the hospital are requesting a midwife, a woman nurse who is certified to give birth and works side by side with doctors. Mothers prior to delivery give the hospital their request. Usually it's granted. But the midwife is a RN, a registered nurse, who is actually certified and gone through the training to actually deliver a child. And most of the time, midwives are very accepted by women getting ready to give birth. Mothers and women, especially in an era of men being busy, seemingly unavailable, or uninterested in the harshness of labor, find hiring professionals to care for every whim of the mother to be easy. Women who have best friends that want to be there, sisters that want to have the chance to see what birth is, and mothers who can share the pain of their daughter, see the benefit of a person uninterrupted to help the mother go through the birth process. So doulas assist the mother as well as assist the midwives. The last pregnancy I participated in was 7 years ago. I wound up being a cesarean with my ex-wife. The decision for C-section came quick, and little effort on her part was needed to deliver our son. The carrying to full term and healing after the C-section was tough. However, watching a child being forced vaginally, with tears and spit and blood, gushing amniotic fluids rush onto the midwife, who forces the vaginal muscles down and around, then snips the edge of the vagina to free the head of a child, who screams a breath of life and then rush to her mother's skin for final safety. All of this with a soft word, a gentle reminder to push, a count to 10 every time a contraction comes, and the vision in ultra miracle fashion to see my daughter born. Would I hire a doula for my wife should pregnancy occur? No. It's my job. The fear and the almost chance of giving up birthing my daughter naturally was cut off by my work at my wife's side. Her eyes screamed, "Are we okay?" I would never want to let anyone else protect her dream of natural birth. I am a doula. I'm a doodler. And I got to bring home my baby, safe and sound. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed. And maybe you, sir, could be a doula.